Hey everyone, welcome back to NIIT. This is episode 1 of our LangChain by Project series. And the whole idea behind this series is simple. Instead of drowning you in theory, we're going to learn LangChain by actually building real end-to-end apps. And today's project is genuinely useful. We're building an AI dev helper, something that can explain concepts, debug your code, improve your code, and even throw project ideas at you when you're stuck. Alright, let me quickly show you what the app does, and then we'll build the whole thing from scratch. So here's the app. On the left side, you pick a mode. Mode is basically the task you want the AI to do for you. You can choose between explain, debug, improve, or ideas. Then you type a question or paste in some code right into this text box. After that, you just click Ask Dev Helper. And the moment you do that, the AI starts responding instantly on the right with clean output. And yes, everything you're seeing here is running locally on my laptop through Ollama, which means no cloud calls, no servers, just the model running right here. Now, before we jump into VS Code, let's take a few minutes to understand the LangChain concepts we'll actually use in this project. Now that you have seen what we are building today, let's take a few minutes to understand the LangChain concepts behind it before we crack open VS Code. So normally, when you use an LLM, you type a prompt and you get a reply. Pretty simple, right? But when you're building a real app where you need different modes, clean prompts, structured output, doing all of that manually becomes messy fast. And that's where LangChain helps. It gives us a clean way to organize the prompt, talk to the model, and handle the output. And for this project, you only need to understand 3 things. First thing is the model, where we are using Chat Ollama to talk to the Llama 3 model running locally through Ollama. Then, second prompt template. Instead of writing long prompts over and over, we make one template with placeholders like mode and user input. And LangChain fills them in based on what the user selects. And last, chain. A chain is basically the pipeline, which just means take this prompt and send it to model and then send it to parser for further cleanup. Simple? Now let's get into the VS Code and start building the code. Okay, we start by importing the code libraries. Streamlit is used for the UI, LangChain is used for building the prompt pipeline, and Chat Ollama is the bridge that connects our code to the local LLM running on Ollama. Then we also import a prompt template and a string output parser. These are important for structuring responses cleanly. Next, we define the model name, which is Llama 3.1. This makes it easy to change models later if we want, without touching the rest of the code. Now here comes the very important part, the getChain function. This function builds a LangChain pipeline, and we also cache it using Streamlit's cache resource. Why? Because we don't want to recreate the model and prompt again and again every time the page refreshes. Caching makes the app much faster and more stable. Inside this function, we create a chat prompt template. This prompt has 2 parts, a system message and a human message. The system message defines the personality and behavior of our AI, in which we clearly tell the model that you are an AI dev helper for beginner and intermediate developers. Then we explain that it can operate in 4 modes: explain, debug, improve, and ideas. We also guide the model to keep answers structured, short, and to use Markdown when showing code. On the other hand, the human message has 2 inputs. One is the selected mode, and the other is whatever the user actually types into the app. This is how we control the behavior of the AI based on what the user wants to do. After the prompt, we initialize the LLM using Chat Ollama. And here we pass the model name and keep the temperature low, around 0.3, so that the answers stay stable and technical, not too creative. Then we attach a stream output parser. This simply converts the model's output into plain text, so it can be understood easily. Finally, we connect everything together using LangChain's expression language, where we prompt, then model, then parser, and then we return the chain that makes it a complete pipeline. Now moving on, we have a small function to initialize the session state. Basically, Streamlit reruns the script again and again, so we need a place to store chat history. And in this, we store each message as a dictionary containing the role, the mode, and the content. After that, we have another helper function that renders the chat history. Basically, this loops through previous messages and displays them properly using Streamlit's chat message components. If a mode exists, we also show that, so the conversation stays clean. Now let's talk about the main function. This is where everything comes together. First, we configure the Streamlit page, where we set the title, LangChain Ollama Dev Helper. Then we initialize the session and load our LangChain pipeline using getChain. Next, for the left side, we build the sidebar. This shows the current model and reminds the user to start Ollama, and clearly explains the 4 modes available in the app. This is small, but honestly, it improves usability a lot. In the main UI, we show the app title and a short caption explaining that this runs locally using Llama 3.1. Then we split the layout in 2 columns. On the left side, the user selects what kind of help they want: explain, debug, improve, or ideas. Internally, we create a short label so the prompt stays clean. Below that, we give the user a large text area to either ask a question or paste code. Then we have a single button, Ask Dev Helper. Simple, no unnecessary clutter. On the right side, we show the conversation window where all messages appear, both user and assistant. Now when the button is clicked, we first validate the input. If the input is empty, we show a warning. Otherwise, we add the user message to history and call the LangChain pipeline. While the model is thinking, we show a spinner. Because local models take a few seconds sometimes, and users should know it's working. If something goes wrong, maybe Ollama is not running, we catch the error and show it nicely instead of crashing the app. Once the model responds, we add the assistant's response to the chat history and rerun the app so everything updates cleanly. Now, after understanding how code actually works, let's open the terminal and start the program. If you haven't installed all the library, here is the command for you. Pip install Streamlit, LangChain, Ollama, and LangChain core. That's it. Now hit enter. But I already installed it, so I will pass this time. And one more thing, make sure you pull the Ollama. If not, here is the command for that. Ollama pull Llama 3.1. That's it. Now let's write the command to run the program. Streamlit run AI dev helper.py and hit enter. And Streamlit will take some time to start. Alright, so this right here is the AI dev helper. And the first thing you'll notice is how clean it is. Nothing fancy, nothing extra. Just a simple UI that actually lets you focus on the work, which honestly is exactly what you want when you're coding. So over here on the left side, you've got all the settings. It tells you which model is running. In my case, it's Llama 3.1 running locally using Ollama. And I really like that it even reminds you to pull the model if you haven't already. Because come on, we all forget that sometimes. Below that, you'll see the 4 modes: explain, debug, improve, and ideas. And these are basically the 4 things this app is meant to help you with. Now in the main section, this is where everything happens. At the top, You choose what kind of help you want. Let me start with something basic. I'll select Explain a concept. Then there's this big text box, and here you can type literally anything. A concept you're stuck on, some code that isn't working, messy code you want to clean up, or even project ideas. Let me type something simple. Maybe what is a LCEL in LangChain? Now I'll just hit Ask Dev Helper. And that's it. The request goes through LangChain into our local LLM, and the answer shows up on the right side in the conversation panel. And you can see the response is clean and really readable. It's not dumping unnecessary theory. Now let me switch modes. I'll move to debug, paste in a small broken Python function I have, and again, one click and it tells me what's wrong and how to fix it. Straight to the point. And then there's ideas, which is honestly my favorite. You just type something like, give me AI project ideas using Ollama. And it gives you practical ideas you can genuinely build, not just random buzzwords. So yeah, that's the app. Simple interface, conversation style interaction, and everything runs fully locally using Llama 3.1. This is exactly the kind of tool I wish I had when I was starting out. And yeah, with that, we come to the end of episode 1 in this LangChain by Projects series. Today, you saw what LangChain actually does. The 3 core pieces behind it, the model, the prompt, and the chain. And how LCEL connects everything together in one clean, readable flow. We also set up Llama 3 locally using Ollama and step by step built a complete AI dev helper using Streamlit and LangChain. In episode 2, we'll go a little deeper. We'll focus on prompt design and chain behavior, and you'll see how even small changes in a prompt can completely change the output you get from the model. If this video helped you out, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which model you want me to cover next. Gemini, Llama, Mistral, anything you're curious about. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in episode 2.